Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Look at this turnout. This is incredible. And there are many people outside that can't get into the hangar. The fire marshal won't let them in. Oh, fire marshal, let me talk to you, please. Please. But it's such an honor. And, you know, we've had tremendous results here. And I think we're going to do very well here. We're going to do well everywhere. I think the only place we're tied, actually, is Texas. We're tied in Texas, and I think we have a really good chance of winning Texas. People are so tired of these politicians. It's all talk, no action. And I've been watching it. I've dealt with them all my life. I've been watching it all my life. I got a little glimpse of it just now coming in. I watched this lightweight Rubio, total lightweight, and little mouth on him. Bing, 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 bing. And his new attack is he calls me a con artist. I'm a con man, right? You know, I built a great business, and believe me, I wish my father loaned me $200 million or gave me $200 million. I wish he had $200 million in those days. I'll tell you what. I wish my father gave me that money. I borrowed a tiny amount of money, $1 million. I started a business. It's worth much more than $10 billion right now. I filed unbelievable statements with the FEC, federal elections. And the press knows, they fully understand, because they went down there. They were like a bunch of ants. They were all over the place. And they were so disappointed to see what a great company it is. Some of the great assets of the world, very little debt, tremendous cash flow, and it says it all. First time I've ever done that because I'm a private company. And believe me, if I didn't have a good statement, I wouldn't have been able to run because I wouldn't have been able to file. And the filing is amazing, and the company's amazing. And the reason I tell you that is because that's the thinking we need. We have $19 trillion in debt. We're going up to $21 trillion as a country. Our country is a mess. We're losing our business. Companies are moving into Mexico. They're moving to China. They're moving to Ireland. Pfizer just announced they're going to move to Ireland. Great company. They're moving to Ireland. They're moving all over the world. They're leaving us. And our numbers, that 5% number you hear, unemployment, total fiction. It's probably 25, could even be 30%. Because when somebody looks for a job and they give up, like most people do, they go home, they say, I can't do it anymore, they're considered statistically employed. We have a real problem, folks, and we're going to get it solved, okay? We're going to get it solved. But I will address, little Rubio. This guy has a fresh mouth. He's a very nasty guy. And I actually thought that Ted Cruz was a liar, but Rubio is worse. I mean, he's worse. And I watched, I must tell you, one of the reasons I love having Chris, and Chris called me a couple of days ago, said, you know what you have is a movement. I've never seen anything like it. He said, and he's a pro. He's one of the real endorsements that I wanted. And he called me. I would have called him. I was sort of like getting ready to call him. And out of the blue, Chris called. And he said, I want to endorse you and your campaign. I've never seen anything like it. And many people have never seen anything like it. Peggy Noonan, who's terrific, she writes a fantastic piece today in the Wall Street Journal talking about it. What's happening is amazing. Time magazine a few weeks ago, a cover story, the movement that we've created. But just to address, so I was in New Hampshire, which we won, by the way. We, not me, we won. And I saw a meltdown of a human being like I've never seen. It was Rubio. And it was Chris who started. And I'll tell you what, he is one prosecutor, isn't he? In all fairness. But he started, and he looked at Rubio, and they went back and forth, and all of a sudden, and you have to understand, I'm in the center. I've been in the center for every single debate now, which is nice. Center means good. I told CNN, well, are you going to announce that I'm number one? No. I said, well, nobody's going to know I'm number one unless you announce it. They said, you're in the center. I said, I don't care. Nobody knows that. But they don't want to do that. They should do that, right? But they don't want to do that. They never want to do that stuff. They never want to do anything good. I'm not just talking to them. I'm talking about the other ones, too. The media, the most dishonest human beings on earth, I'm telling you. The most. And we're going to, by the way, while I'm on that subject, I am going to do everything I can if I win. They write false stories. They write nasty false stories, and they know their faults. I've had some written more than I've ever seen before the last period of a few months. They write false stories you can't really sue because the libel laws are essentially non-existent. We're going to open up the libel laws so when they write falsely, we can sue the media and we can get the story corrected and get damages. Right? Believe me. So important. And you know what? It'll be amazing how honest they become. Right now, they can say anything they want to say. Someday, in the not-too-distant future, if I win, they're not going to get away with the stuff that they get away with. And I think we all feel, don't we feel that way? It's terrible. Very, very dishonest people. But I watched Chris go after this lightweight Ruby. I call him lightweight Ruby. I watched it. And I'm sitting here, and he's over here. Somebody on my left, doesn't matter. And he's over here, and I see him starting to sweat. Like I have never seen anything like it. Thank God he has really large ears, the biggest ears I've ever seen. Because they were protecting him. It was going, I have never seen any human being sweat like this guy. And he said the Obama statement once, and that was fine. And then he said it twice, and I'm standing, I have nothing to do with it because Chris is over here, he's over here, just to my right. He said it a second time, and I said, that's strange. I'm going like this. That's strange. Then he said the same exact words. You know, he memorizes phrases. Like the con man. I saw Brett Baer yesterday say, he said con man so many times during the interview. Trump's a con man, Trump's a con man. The last thing I am is a con man, folks. I built a great business, okay? I built a great business. And by the way, think of this. Then I do a television show called The Apprentice, and it becomes one of the top shows on television, tremendously successful. And by the way, they wanted to renew me, and I couldn't do it because I was doing this. And Steve Burke, the head of Comcast, great guy, comes into my office. Donald, we want to renew you. I said, Steve, I'm going to run for president. You can't do both. Okay, it's called equal time laws or whatever it's called, but you can't. He said, please, please. I said, no, I'm going to do this. And we chose because I have a big stake in The Apprentice going forward and everything else. And we chose Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's see how he does, right? Let's see. I hope he does well, but who knows, right? I know Trump did well, 14 seasons. So I had this tremendous show that was one of the most successful shows on television and really one of the most successful. And we came up with the expression, "You're fired." And it's been great. And you got to know my kids, Ivanka, Don, Eric, and a lot of other people. And my family I'm so proud of. But, so we do a show, it's greatly successful. I do books, right? I do The Art of the Deal. One of the most successful, probably the most successful, but one of the most successful business books and books of its kind ever written. And I did many other books, 12 other books, many bestsellers. And then I built this business that is unbelievable. Some of the greatest assets in the world. Turnberry in Scotland, Doral in Miami, buildings all over the place, big chunks of the Bank of America building in San Francisco, built a city practically on the west side of Manhattan, a big chunk of 1290 Avenue of the Americas, biggest floor plates in New York, just about the biggest floor plates. I think they are the biggest floor plates. And just built 40 Wall Street, Trump Tower, so many things. And then I listened to this light little nothing say Trump's a con man. Isn't it a disgrace? I mean, seriously. You know, it really is. Maybe we'll make the libel laws also so we can sue lying politicians, because, but it's, it's very insulting when you hear it. And thank goodness I have this where I can get off and counteract it because they say things that are so wrong. Now, I don't know what Cruz is saying, but these two guys are in big trouble. They're in big trouble. Yeah, it's almost like who cares, but they're in big trouble. Rubio's 1-0. He couldn't get elected dog catcher in Florida. They hate him in the state of Florida. No, think of it. He's a politician. Chris went over it. Never votes, never anything. He couldn't right now, if he ran for office in Florida, he wouldn't get elected to any office. They cannot stand him because Florida's like a second home. They cannot stand the guy. And he abandoned them. Think of it. He runs for Senate. He wins. They give him their confidence. He wins. And before he even runs, he's looking for another position. And he never goes to vote on some of the most important bills. He's never voting. They hate him in Florida. That's why I'm up 22 points. Can you imagine? We have We have a sitting senator. At least with Cruz, we're even. That's not so great for him either, because he's a sitting senator in Texas. But in Florida, we have a sitting senator, and I'm up by a tremendous amount, every poll, because they can't stand the guy. Now, here's the story. He sat and he stood, and I thought he was going down. And I said, man, I think he's choking. I love, it's called human whatever. I love watching whatever happens. I said, I'm about to witness history. This guy's going down. This guy's going down. And I'm looking, and I'm getting ready because I'm, it's like a lot of people. I'm a pretty strong guy. And I'm getting ready to grab him because I thought he was out. And he starts sweating. And honestly, this is true. I've got a problem. I have never seen a human being sweat like he sweats. So Christie is grilling him. So he says it twice. Now he says it a third time. I said, now that's not good, because 3 times the exact same line. Memorized. And then a fourth and then a fifth. And I'm looking like, wow. But I'm getting ready to grab him because I'm telling you he's going down. I have never, it looked like he jumped in a swimming pool with his clothing on and then came back. Now for the last debate, I go back and I see him with makeup, and it's like he's putting it on with a trowel. Okay? And then he got very aggressive right at the beginning. Now, I knew they were going to do that, both of them. They double-teamed me because, and I got great reviews. Do you know that every single poll, Drudge, Slate, I think Time Magazine, every single poll had me winning that debate, which is amazing. Every single poll. Not all of the pundits had me winning, but every single poll. And many of the pundits, but not all of them. Some of them, no matter what. If I was Abraham Lincoln debating, he was a very good debater, they'd say, it wasn't a great night. A couple of them said, it was not a great night. I thought it was a great night. But, right? But I was double-teamed by these two. But with Rubio, just to finish off with him, so I knew it was going to be one of these nights because everybody was saying, oh, they've got to do it. They have no choice because they're getting killed. We're way ahead. We're way ahead nationally. We're way ahead here and every place. We got to win. We got to win Arkansas. We got to win Arkansas. We got to win. Maybe I'll start shopping permanently at Walmart if we win Arkansas. I'll never go anywhere else. No, we got to win Arkansas. I love it. I love the people of Arkansas. I know so many people. They're great people. These are great people. But just remember this. That's right. Thank you. But just remember this. Politicians are never going to get you to the promised land. They're never, ever going to get you to the promised land. And things were said in previous speeches, and probably by Cruz also, but I didn't get to see Cruz, which is just false. So many things I've done so well. For instance, they talk Trump University. It's a small deal, very small. But I got sued by a lawyer who sues. They sue because they want to see if they get some money back. I could have settled this suit numerous times, could settle it now. But I don't like settling suits because when you settle lawsuits, everybody sues you. It's a little business story. I have friends, they settle lawsuits, and they can't understand why are they always sued. I don't settle lawsuits. We have people at Trump University that wrote, most of them, that wrote statements. And they wrote the statement where, I love the school, I love this. For some reason, I never saw this before, we call them report cards. They did like report cards, essentially report cards, where at the end of the class, at the end of the period of time, they did study. They did a report card on how you like it. Some even did film clips where they actually are in film saying great things. The person that started the suit wrote a great statement saying it was fantastic and did a film clip saying that it was fantastic. And they've just asked that she be taken out of the case. She doesn't want to be in the case anymore. And the reason they want is because she's a terrible plaintiff, because she said all these great things about Trump University, and she's on film saying how great it is. So they put in a motion, which of course the papers don't write this, they put in a motion saying that take her name is Tarloff or something, take her out of the case. The reason they want her out of the case is she is a horrible, horrible witness. She's got in writing that she loves it. And I could have settled it. And when I saw her documentation, I said, why would I give her money